Picture a train packed with thousands of commuters rushing through the heart of Tokyo. You hear the heavy metallic rumble of the tracks and the rustle of clothing, yet not a single human voice. Why does a society with the absolute freedom to speak choose this collective silence? Many Westerners view Japan's public discipline as forced, rigid conformity. But beneath the surface lies a profound practical wisdom, a deliberate philosophy of mutual respect and emotional boundary setting. In this video, we will decode the hidden rules of Japanese daily life, not to praise a culture, but to discover how you can protect your own mental peace in an overwhelmingly noisy world. Section 1. The deafening silence of Tokyo's commuter trains. Why are they so quiet? This is the first question almost every traveler asks when they step onto a Tokyo train. You are standing in a small space, packed with hundreds of people. You can feel the heavy rumble of the tracks under your feet. You can hear the soft rustle of coats and the faint hum of smartphones. Yet, you hear no human voices. No one is laughing. No one is chatting about their day. No one is arguing on the phone. It feels like entering a grand library, but it is moving at 50 miles an hour. For many outsiders, this silence feels deeply unsettling. In New York, London, or Paris, the subway is a stage for life. People argue, musicians play, and friends share loud stories. Silence in the West often means tension, sadness, or anger. But here in Japan, this collective quietness feels calm and organized. It is not the silence of fear. It is something completely different. It is a shared agreement. Think about your own city for a moment. How do people behave on public transport? Do they respect your space, or do they push their noise into your world? Imagine a commute where no one forces you to listen to their personal drama. No loud music leaks from headphones. No one yells across the carriage. Would you find this peaceful? Or would it feel too cold and lonely? We want to know your thoughts. Please tell us in the comments below. How would this kind of total silence make you feel on your morning commute? Section 2. The modern conflict. Noise as an invisible invasion. We live in an incredibly loud world. Today, society tells us that modern freedom means expressing ourselves at any time. We are encouraged to speak up, to be heard, and to fill every empty space with our presence. As a result, silence has become a rare luxury. Everywhere we go, we are forced to consume other people's choices. We hear random videos from a stranger's screen, loud ringtones, and uninvited personal details. This constant stream of sound is not just annoying, it is a slow, invisible invasion of our private minds. Think about the mental energy you lose every single day. When you cannot control your environment, your brain never truly rests. You are forced to process information you never asked for. This constant noise slowly erodes our patience. It breaks our focus, and it destroys our inner peace. Many of us tolerate this because we think it is the price of living in a free society. We tell ourselves that other people have the right to be loud. But what about your right to be quiet? What about your right to think your own thoughts without interruption? In the West, we often view freedom as the right to take up space. We want to expand our presence outward, but we rarely stop to consider the cost of this expansion. When everyone takes up maximum space, everyone else is pushed into a corner. We become trapped in a subtle, ongoing conflict with our surroundings. We return home from work feeling exhausted, but we do not know why. The truth is, we are tired of defending our mental borders from the constant noise of the world. Section 3. The cultural root. Wa. Harmony versus individual ego. To understand this silence, we must look at the deepest root of Japanese culture. That root is the concept of wa, which we often translate as harmony. In the West, we usually think of harmony as a feeling. It is a nice emotion we experience when everyone gets along well. But in Japan, wa is not just a passing feeling. It is an active social duty. It is a deliberate choice made by mature individuals. To maintain wa, you must learn to govern your own presence. You must carefully watch how your actions affect the shared space around you. This is fundamentally different from the Western view of society. In a highly individualistic culture, the self comes first. We believe our primary job is to protect our own rights and express our unique identity. We expect society to adjust to our individual needs, but the concept of wa flips this logic completely upside down. It suggests that a peaceful society can only exist when individuals choose to restrain their own ego. It asks a simple but profound question. Is your temporary comfort worth disrupting the peace of 50 other people? This is not about being weak or hiding your true self. It is a sign of high emotional intelligence. In Japan, making unnecessary noise is seen as a form of selfishness. It shows that you care more about your own immediate desires than the collective comfort of the group. When you step into a public space in Tokyo, you are entering a shared ecosystem. Silence is the physical expression of this deep mutual respect. It is a quiet agreement to minimize your footprint, so that everyone else can breathe easily. Section 4. The hidden philosophy, Ma. The aesthetics of empty space. There is another crucial concept that shapes this quiet culture. It is the Japanese word Ma. It can be translated as negative space, a pause, or the silence between things. In the West, we tend to focus heavily on things that are visible or audible. We value the words spoken, the objects built, and the notes played in a song. We often see empty space as nothingness, or worse, a wasted opportunity that needs to be filled. But in traditional Japanese art and life, Ma is where the true meaning actually lives. Think about a traditional Japanese painting. Large parts of the paper are often left completely white and untouched. Yet those empty spaces are not empty at all. They give the objects room to breathe, creating balance, depth, and tension. The same rule applies to human communication. In a Western conversation, silence can feel awkward or uncomfortable. We rush to fill the quiet gaps with small talk. In Japan, however, a pause between sentences is viewed as a sign of deep respect. It shows that you are carefully digesting the other person's words. This philosophical appreciation for empty space directly influences daily life in public places. Silence is not just the absence of sound. It is a beautiful, protective boundary. It creates an invisible screen of privacy around each person. Even in a crowded area, by leaving the shared air quiet, you give others the mental room to think, reflect, and just exist. Ma teaches us that the spaces between people are just as important as the people themselves. It is the quiet art of keeping a respectful distance. Section 5. Daily discipline. 1. The sacred cleanliness of public spaces. If you walk down a street in Tokyo, you will notice something surprising. There are almost no trash cans anywhere. In most major cities around the world, removing garbage bins would lead to immediate chaos. Streets would quickly fill with plastic bottles, food wrappers, and waste. Yet Japan's public spaces remain remarkably clean. This standard of cleanliness is not maintained by a massive army of street sweepers. Instead, it relies on a simple, deeply ingrained cultural habit. People routinely carry their own trash home with them. This behavior reveals a fundamental shift in how people view their environment. In many cultures, a public space is seen as someone else's responsibility. It is a place owned by the city or the government. Therefore, people feel free to use it and leave their mess behind. But in Japan, the mindset is entirely different. Public spaces are viewed as shared extensions of the home. You would never throw trash onto your own living room floor. Why, then, would you treat the streets of your community any differently? This daily discipline creates a profound sense of psychological safety. When you see a perfectly clean street, it sends a clear signal to your brain. It tells you that the people around you care about their surroundings. It proves that they are capable of self-control. Cleanliness and silence are deeply connected in this way. They are both physical expressions of a society that chooses order over convenience. By taking responsibility for your own waste, you honor the space for everyone else. Section 6. Daily discipline. 2. The logic behind inaudible phone calls. Let us look closer at another famous rule. When you ride a train in Japan, you will see signs everywhere asking you to switch your phone to silent mode. They call this manner mode. More importantly, you are expected to avoid making or taking voice calls entirely. To many visitors, this rule feels a bit extreme. After all, what is the big difference between two friends talking quietly in person and one person talking quietly into a smartphone? It turns out there is a fascinating psychological reason behind this social boundary. Studies show that overhearing a one-sided conversation is far more distracting to the human brain than listening to a normal dialogue. When you hear only half of a story, your brain automatically works overtime to fill in the missing pieces. You cannot simply block it out. It forces an involuntary cognitive load onto every stranger sitting around you. In Japan, making a phone call in a crowded carriage is seen as an act of theft. You are stealing the mental energy and the quiet focus of your fellow passengers. This forces us to re-examine our own definition of modern freedom. In the West, we often believe we have the right to do anything, as long as it does not physically harm someone else. But what about psychological harm? What about the mental drain of constant noise? How do you feel when you are trapped next to someone broadcasting their private life on a busy bus? Do you think public spaces should protect our peace of mind, or should personal freedom always come first? We want to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments below. Section 7. The Western Dilemma. The counter-argument of forced conformity. Now let us address the natural objection that many Western minds will raise. It is easy to look at this absolute silence and feel a sense of coldness. We might ask ourselves, is this beautiful harmony, or is it just a polite form of prison? From an individualist perspective, such intense public discipline looks like forced conformity. It feels as though society is suppressing the unique personality of each human being. We worry that by hiding our voices, we are turning ourselves into obedient robots who simply follow rules without questioning them. This critique is not entirely wrong. In Japan, the social pressure to fit in can be incredibly heavy. The fear of being judged by others often drives this perfect behavior. If you stand out too much, you risk quiet exclusion from the community. It is a system that values the comfort of the whole group over the brilliant expression of the single person. For someone raised to believe that self-expression is the highest virtue, this environment can feel suffocating. It challenges our deep belief that a healthy society must always celebrate the loudest individuals. But before we dismiss this culture as a robotic dystopia, we must look closer at the alternative. In our noisy Western cities, we have chosen the opposite path. We have prioritized absolute individual freedom above everything else. But has this choice truly made us happier? Or has it simply left us feeling more isolated, frustrated, and exposed to the constant ego of strangers? We must ask ourselves if our absolute right to be loud is worth the destruction of our shared peace. Section 8. The Shared Truth. Silence as the ultimate form of empathy. When we look past the surface of this cultural divide, we discover an unexpected bridge. This is the moment where Western philosophy and Eastern wisdom actually meet. In the West, the ancient Stoics taught us that true freedom comes from managing our own reactions. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote that you can always find a quiet retreat within your own mind. The Stoics believed that a mature person does not demand the outer world to change. Instead, they master their own impulses to maintain their reason and balance. Now, look at the silent commuters on a Tokyo train. They are practicing this exact philosophical principle on a grand social scale. This collective quietness is not a lack of emotion. It is a highly active, practical form of empathy. It is the conscious decision to say, I will master my own voice and my own noise so that your mind can remain free. Both the Western Stoic and the Japanese citizen arrive at the exact same conclusion. Real personal strength is not shown by dominating your environment. It is proven by your ability to govern yourself. This realization brings a powerful sense of mental relief. It shows that silence is not a tool used by a cold state to control its population. Rather, it is a gift that citizens choose to give to one another every single day. When you step into that quiet carriage, you are not being erased by a machine. You are being protected by the invisible kindness of hundreds of strangers. They are giving you the rarest present in the modern world, the space to just be yourself. Section 9. The Crucial Difference. Fighting for peace versus merging with silence. While both cultures value inner peace, they approach it from completely opposite directions. In the West, we treat quietness as an individual right. If our neighborhood is too loud, we call the authorities, file complaints, or pass strict noise laws. We actively fight for our peace, creating hard legal boundaries to keep the world out. We view quietness as a personal possession that we must aggressively protect from the intrusion of others. Our approach is based on conflict and defense. In Japan, however, silence is achieved through a fluid process of spatial blending. It does not rely on lawyers or police officers. Instead, it relies on the artistic ability to blend your presence into the background. You do not build a wall around yourself. You simply lower your volume until you become a seamless part of the existing atmosphere. The West seeks quiet by changing the rules, while Japan achieves it by changing the self. It is the subtle difference between forcing the world to be still and choosing to be still within the world. This difference is crucial because it changes the very nature of human interaction. When you fight for your right to be quiet, You view your neighbors as potential enemies or invaders. But when you actively merge with the silence, you view others as partners in a delicate, shared dance. This approach preserves your dignity and the dignity of everyone around you. It creates a fragile but beautiful social contract that functions perfectly without a single word being spoken. Section 10. Conclusion. Reclaiming your inner sanctuary. We do not need to move to Tokyo to learn from this quiet culture. We do not need to copy every single rule of Japanese etiquette. The true lesson is much deeper than that. It is an invitation to look at our own daily lives and to examine the quality of our attention. In a world that constantly begs us to look, to listen, and to react, choosing silence is a radical act of self-ownership. It is the moment you decide that your mind belongs to you and not to the endless noise of society. The next time you find yourself in a crowded space, take a deep breath. You do not have to fill the empty air with unnecessary words. You do not have to pull out your screen to escape the moment. Instead, try to offer a little bit of ma to the people around you. Lower your volume, restrain your ego, and create a small pocket of peace. By doing this, you are not making yourself smaller. You are cultivating a beautiful, dignified strength that cannot be shaken by the outside world. True maturity is not about having the last word or making your presence felt by everyone in the room. It is the ability to walk gracefully through a loud world while keeping your inner sanctuary completely untouched. Silence is not emptiness. It is the quiet soil where your soul can finally rest, think, and grow. How will you bring a piece of this silence into your life tomorrow? The choice is entirely yours.